Well, firstly, that will be along with the government policy on inclusion. And through that policy, parents have greater choice and parental choice as to where they would like their children to go to school. And I suppose you can couple that with, in some areas and some authorities, the closure of special schools. I would say the behaviours are fairly similar. The only difference is with pupils with special educational needs, they need that little addition, that extra support and guidance, and they need the systems and the structure that's there in place to help them manage themselves and to be managed within a classroom.
I firmly believe that every child is entitled to work in a very quiet, calm and safe environment. Now, unfortunately, that's not always the case, and we have one or two children that come into school with very, very challenging behaviour, but I feel exclusion is not the answer for those children. Obviously, unless there's extreme cases, because what they do is they're often out of school for a period of time, they're around the estate and doing absolutely nothing. So I feel those children need to remain in school, but work away from the class and actually earn the right to go back into the classroom. We have the huge range of ability within our school. We have some children that come into school with a lot of baggage, which we have to obviously look after and nurture. So we've created our own nurture room, which we call the Sunshine Room, where children work on sharing, sitting around a table, having a meal together, working on activities based on what they would be doing in the classroom, but then rewarded with an activity of their choice afterwards. We also have some children that come into school with exceptionally challenging behaviour who need very specific targets to work towards. So we have our behaviour recovery room where they work away from the classroom on tasks set for them again by the class teacher, and they earn that right to go back into the classroom when the time is right.
It's definitely on the preparation, actually thinking about how you're going to organise your classroom, how you're going to organise your teaching support, where will people be sitting, and what rewards and sanctions are you actually considering having. The use of choices is probably the thing that has had the most impact on my teaching, to actually allow the child to recognise that they get the choice of what behaviour they decide to show, but also that each choice carries either maybe a reward or a sanction, and these are made clear to the children. The key is knowing the child, to know what their interests are, what strengths they have and where the weaknesses are, because usually it's where the weakness lies is usually where the behaviour occurs. So a child that doesn't like to do writing, is your objective actually going to be covered better through discussion? Could you change the way that you deliver the lesson based on the child? To appeal to lots of different learning styles.
My first tip for pupils who lose self-control quickly would be to be consistent, regardless of how you're feeling, how you are as a person and a teacher managing those pupils. You must be the same day in and day out. They need to know cause and effect. If I do this, this is going to happen, and that must be the same for these pupils day in and day out. My second tip would be to get to know the pupils. And when you really get to know the pupils, you'll know the signs and you'll know the triggers. And when you can spot those signs and those triggers, you can then, as a teacher or a member of staff, be proactive in helping them deal with their self-control. And my third top tip would be to give the pupil themselves some control over the behaviour. Work with them so that they can actually understand the feelings that they're getting inside, and then be, again, proactive in how they deal with it, like the use of a time-out card or a special area in the classroom that they can go.